So Jerome, welcome to AltaVoz. It's a great pleasure to have you playing here.
Thanks for the invitation.
We're having a sort of short conversation before your set. What are you going to play tonight?
Ooh, wow. Actually, tonight's rather exciting because I am going to start with most of the music I've been doing recently to sort of express what I feel is representative of techno today through my own eyes. And recently I've done remixes for Technasia, I've done remixes for Luke Slater, I've done remixes for, well, actually, before that, we have to acknowledge the introduction of my friend Function, who's a very important part of my sort of techno life. My dear friend David Sumner, who is known as Function, who is part of Sanwell District, we bonded in Berlin, and through this new relationship has given me a sort of a freedom to work with a very talented person and express myself through techno. And probably without him, it would be different. So he has to get a lot of credit for that. You know, this local community thing in Berlin, people from all over the world meeting randomly and getting on with the vibrations. So I guess we will do heavy, deep techno and some splashy stuff, but the splashy stuff will be, to other people maybe simplistic, but to me, intense. Like, we'll have high moments, but we'll be playing deep techno.
What I find really interesting is the fact that you have stayed so consistent through the years, staying in, let's call it, underground dance scene. But, if I'm not wrong, you started working for a major label as an A&R or something like that.
Absolutely.
How was the transition between that job and your career as a musician? I mean, going from the mainstream corporation system to the underground dance scene?
An excellent question again, and this question can only be answered honestly. At the beginning, when I was young, and I was the assistant of a guy called Merlin Bob. Merlin Bob was a guy who, 2 years before, when I got off the plane to go to university in New York, was a guy who was doing the midnight mix, the midnight house mix on the radio with Timmy Regisford on one station and Tony Humphries on another station. And they had this system going on. And all these guys, minus Tony was always like the super DJ. Timmy Regisford and Merlin Bob were always record executives. And I became the assistant of Merlin Bob. And these guys were driving their Jaguars and their Bentleys like, what, 15 years ago?
Yeah.
18 years ago? You know, like 18 years ago, these guys were already on the job. And they were young, very bright, very intelligent. And I just happened to be an assistant of the great Merlin Bob. And through Merlin Bob, I learned about the music business. I learned more about house music. I learned more about disco music. And through his guidance, I know it sounds romantic, but it's true. I was able to be a more informed and more sophisticated person. And they always shared, and it's been great since. And they opened the Club Shelter. And then we used to go to Dance Tracks, Record Store, hang out with Joe Purcell. And then Francois come back and opened Body and Soul. So either way you look at it, there was always some consistency with the sound. There was always something going on. There was always something happening. And we were always inspired. Even if we couldn't drive the Bentleys like my boss Merlin. And if you ever see this interview, Merlin, I love you, man. But this is part of an education. But it was that cool. where you go to a club and white people, black people, everyone's dancing together to like house, techno, rhythm, soul, whatever. And then you go to other places, it was all about music. It was always all about music. And this is where we are today, and this is why I'm even having this interview, because if I didn't succeed through this journey, I wouldn't even be talking to you right now. I think what you mean is, who would I sign that we already know? Who would I, most of them, I would sign most of them. Maybe I would miss Lady Gaga, who now I like. Like I didn't like her before, but I like her now, because she grew up. But I wouldn't have signed her, so I can confess. But I would do after, but it would be too late then. Somebody else got it. But I certainly would have signed Black Eyed Peas, definitely. What's that English woman's name? Who's on drugs all the time? What's her name?
One of the many English guys, the Libertines, Pete Doherty, maybe.
No.
The rock and roll band.
No, the one who does that old 50s black music.
Amy Winehouse.
Amy. I would have absolutely signed Amy immediately, because if I got an Amy Winehouse demo, immediately I would get the vibe, because she has a tone, she has personality, and she has character, and she's beautiful. So I would have definitely involved myself with that. Mm-hmm. And then in terms of like hip hop, which is very relevant, well, I guess Wu-Tang Clan, definitely. And besides Wu-Tang Clan, it gets kind of thin. Supernatural Wu-Tang, that's about it. It's like everybody else already existed, but Wu-Tang brought a new threshold to hip hop that was sophisticated, intelligent, and hardcore. And I'm with the Wu, so I'm with the Wu always. Everywhere I go, that their presence is around me. So if I was lucky enough, I would have signed the Wu-Tang Clan. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But what about smaller acts that now are underrated and you would like to give them more recognition?
So now you're talking about independent.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So in that case, I would have to say that there's only one artist right now who I'm trying to get, and if she ever sees this interview, I guess she may sign with me. Her name is Simone, but she's doing some records in Berlin. She's doing some like OK records in Berlin right now, and she goes by the name of Mama. But the reason why she's fantastic is because she's a writer, dynamic as an artist, a writer, performer, and a real personality. If you can ever have these things together, excuse me, you're carefree. Right now, every day that I make a techno record or a house record, because I bridge both gaps. I bridge the gaps together of techno and house. It's just music. It's not complicated. It's club music. But it is also very important music. It's very emotional music. And I take it completely seriously. Completely seriously. If you can find anyone on any level who is open to music, not just open to like, I like pop, I like this, I like that, skip. If you find someone who's into everything, who can come and rave with you for techno for 3 hours, go down, listen to some deep house for a while, and then even go to a pop house club and listen to Dennis Ferrer, who is actually an amazing producer, a best friend of mine, and be in a room with 8,000 people, or the Martinez brothers, people like this. Those guys take their shit very seriously. And if you can understand that, and all the other things I described, then as a human being, you have a better potential and a better chance to be an artist. You have to be open to the music. You have to be open to the music. Then you'll find your baseline. Then you'll find your desire to make a song. And your spirit, brother, you will find it. And that's why it's always exciting. It's always a lesson. It's always new. There are no rules. People come, people go. We stay. We've been around for And I'm a young one. I was the one driving Merlin Bob's clothes to the laundry. I was the assistant, but as a mature, sophisticated label owner, my company is 15 years old. I own over 300 songs. I'm a good publisher. I'm a great DJ. These things take years. So you have to have patience, commitment, dedication, and like music. I love speed metal. I mean, come on. Besides, I'm not going to listen to Led Zeppelin all day long. I mean, come on. I have every Led Zeppelin record. But I'm not going to do that every day when I'm sad. Then I'll go to Nina Simone. Then I'll go to even Bob Marley, it might sound obvious, but that's how you learn about songs and emotion. If this old man now, when he was young, was sitting around with a pen and paper writing all these beautiful songs that last forever, who are you? How dare you even have a comment about a great songwriter? So we learn from great people, we learn from people who came before us. And this is very important. And then we have to share it. You have to be calm and be open. And this kind of stuff, brother.
That's great. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you very, very much.
Here.
Thank you.
Thanks.
My pleasure.